All right. Hello and welcome everyone to the loading screen in-house cast. Got some exciting games for you today. Hopefully a lot of on-meta picks. Hopefully we will see some good plays. And I'm excited to see what's going on. We apparently have a couple of teams who are trying out a couple of positions. I think Glacier's team, Glacier Ascent, is trying out a new mid laner. So we'll be paying special attention, QWERTYcube. We'll be watching you. I hope you do well. No pressure. Don't worry about it. That being said, looks like the lobby is almost set up and ready to go. So let's talk a little bit about some of the players that we've got on this team. Glacier and Arya in the bottom lane from Glacier Ascent. Nutty, absolutely nutty combo. My team, Binks, scraped them recently, and it was pretty crazy, I'm not going to lie. No idea who this QWERTYcube guy is, but random top laner and a random jungler, I think they'll make it out. On the opposing side, on red side, we got Hooli in the top lane, which is where he belongs, on a bit of an island. He can stay there. We got 3 tacos, please, in the jungle as a Diamond 4 player. Tempo in the mid lane as an Emerald 3 player. Cruci and MZC in the bottom lane. We'll see how they match up. It'll be very interesting to see. Glacier and Arya are Emerald and Diamond. Cruci and MZC are also Emerald and Diamond. So it should be a pretty even matchup. I don't see one team or one bot lane rolling the other. The question is going to come down to the junglers. It's going to be Farmville versus Tacos, and I want to see a lot of attention on that bot lane. We really need to get those ADCs snowballing. They need a little bit of help, you know. Sometimes they need their hand held. It's okay, ADC players. We understand. We recognize that sometimes it's a little tough, but you can do it. We believe in you. You're the strongest role in the game right now. We believe in you. That being said, top lane matchup: Silver versus Hooli. Hooli's got some good picks. I've played against him a few times, and it will be very interesting to see. Unfortunately, Hooli is a little bit lower ranked than Silver, so I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it. And Farmville versus Tacos. Unfortunately, I don't know either of these people, but it's a Diamond 4 player against a Master player. I don't know if that matchup necessarily works out, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Very excited, very ready to see how this plays out, and we should be getting started here in just a moment. Apparently, someone needs to get some icy hot on their back. They probably need a backpack instead. Need to put the rest of their team in it and carry. I want to see that carry. I want to see it. It's gonna happen. I think I'm actually the owner of the lobby, so I'm gonna really quickly give that to Hooli so he can get that game rolling. It's going to be very exciting. I know from personal experience, I know Hooli, Glacier, and Arya. The rest of the players in this lobby I'm not super familiar with, but I think all of them will put on a pretty good show. Let me make sure Hooli knows that he has lobby control. All right. We're going to take a quick break. Once we're done with that, when we come back, draft will be starting, so don't go anywhere. Remind, we are right in a draft, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see where the priorities lie, because right now ADC is a pretty strong role. I think getting some bans out of the way especially on the red side. I do expect to see some support bans against Arya. Thresh ban coming through first. Thresh is not super strong, but based on what blue side wants to play, it may be a little annoying. On the red side, Huli has requested a Mordekaiser ban. Silver is up next with a Diana ban in the jungle. Oh, sorry. In Silver is playing top lane. So interesting. Diana, very, very strong, very high priority, especially in jungle. Dusk and Dawn may have been nerfed, but still very strong, very good item. And it makes the champion really, really easy to play, especially when you can just dive in. You have some follow-up from your backline. Kha'Zix going to be the answer here. Kha'Zix is a bit of an odd ban. We don't see him a whole lot. I don't think I've seen him much in solo queue. He's certainly not played a whole lot in pro play. So very curious to see where the mental is at in terms of the Kha'Zix ban. We're going to get our final 2 bans from each team here. Glacier is going to ban Mundo. Mundo, definitely very strong, very easy to create space. That is answered with an Amumu ban, also very strong and easy to create space in the jungle. It looks like red side really is prowling those jungle picks. Mord is also playable in the jungle and reasonably strong there since his passive can proc off of minions. Glacier is going to first pick Caitlyn. Very strong. Looks like we could get like a Caitlyn Morg bot lane, but it looks like a little bit of range coming out from the blue side. And to answer back is Janna. Janna is definitely one of Arya's top picks, so that's a very good steal from the blue side. Sivir to be paired with. Sivir is great at wave clear, also very safe with that Janna. Jarvan is going to try to make her feel a little less safe, though. Able to dive in and not really... Sivir's spell shield not really able to avoid the Jarvan ulti, kind of locking her in place so she has no ability to get out of that ulti. Nami going to be the support pick on the side of Glacier Ascent, and Xin Zhao going to be the jungle answer. So both of these teams kind of looking to... Janna has a lot of good disengage, but Sivir and Xin Zhao also have a lot of good ability to go forward. So Janna to protect the backline, while the rest of the team is able to kind of push, quickly tackle the opposing side. On the blue side, Caitlyn likes to play at a lot of range. Nami and Jarvan, very good combo together. That bubble inside of Jarvan ulti Cataclysm is almost unmissable. And then Caitlyn traps right underneath, makes it very, very difficult to play the game. A Fizz ban coming out as the first one for the second round of bans. Very interesting choice. I guess within houses, it's a little bit more flexible. You can see a lot of different picks. It's not quite like competitive. It's almost more like solo queue. You don't really know what you're going to expect. But a Shen ban, especially with this team, Shen on top of Jarvan, very, very disgusting combo. Teemo coming out for the red side. Not quite sure what we're doing with that one, but you know what? If you don't want to see it in the top lane, by all means. Gnar going to be the response, so Glacier Ascent really valuing those topside bans. Oh, never mind. I spoke too soon. Kennen is the hover. And it is going to be the Gnar. Okay. I don't think Huli really plays Kennen a whole lot, so Gnar definitely makes a lot more sense. We are going to see red side pick 4. Anivia going to be the lock-in, and I feel like Anivia is more useful on Glacier Ascent. Orianna definitely very good, very strong with J4. You Cataclysm or you EN. Xerath, another very good alternative. Has more of the range to play back with Caitlyn, so we'll see what actually comes out. Ori into Anivia is a bit of a tricky matchup, but you can definitely make it work. And Orianna's ultimate is a great way to stop Ice Storm from Anivia. Orianna going to be the lock-in for Glacier Ascent. Let's see how they round out this team. Let's find a good top laner. Sion. Okay. Sion is definitely an option. His ultimate is going to most likely run him out of range of Orianna. So putting the ball on him is not a great option. Orianna really likes to have multiple ball delivery methods. And right now, Jarvan is looking like the only real option here. K'Sante going to be the answering top laner for the red side. And this will definitely be sort of a slugfest in top lane. We're not going to get to see a whole lot of action there. Orianna and Anivia also kind of looking to just farm it out. Anivia really, really wants the scale. In the bot lane, Janna and Sivir are probably going to have a pretty safe time just farming it out as well. Into Caitlyn Nami, it's going to be that Caitlyn Nami definitely wants to get ahead. They definitely want to push aggressively. They really want to get on top of their opposing mid laners. Or their opposing bot laners. The Jarvan is likely looking for a lot of action in the bot lane. We'll see how well Xin Zhao can respond to that. And with that, we're going to go to a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, we are kicking off this first game of in-houses. Should be very exciting. Both teams leaving their base. Let's see which side the junglers want to start on. If I had to guess, I think Jarvan doesn't really love starting on top side, but pathing into bottom is really strong as we get a 4-man and potential invade here. Orianna's walking a little bit close, but it seems like dropping that ward and just walking their way out is the option that we're gonna take, as we get a little bit of a dance off here in top lane. Both junglers starting on their top side, definitely looking for that clash in about 3 minutes in the bot lane. It's going to be very exciting to watch. In the mid lane, very calm early game. There's a little bit of poke from both sides. Orianna can definitely Q very easily without spending a lot of mana, but there's not going to be a whole lot of action. On the bottom side, looks like just some trading back and forth as we get a little bit of action in both mid lane and top lane. People fighting all over the place. First wave clear, and Orianna is going to be the first one to get level 2. That's going to give her a lot more pressure on the Anivia. Some trading back and forth in the bot lane as Glacier Ascent gets level 2 first, and they're going to aggressively push their lane opponents out, trying to deny them that level 2 for as long as they can. Of course, unless they kill them, it's going to take quite a bit longer. Very good trade from Anivia, just that QE combo with the Electrocute proc. This Crucy's looking a little bit low here. About half mana, about 3/4 health. Arya playing very aggressively, trying to get up in the face of MZC and really prevent them from getting a lot of that farm. Crucy, though, is able to pick up a decent amount of it. Is only going to be 1 minion behind. On the top side, Sion getting pushed in by K'Sante. A little bit of tank slap back and forth. Not a whole lot of exciting action.
as MCC walks into a trap, which you should know the Glacier is in range. Hu Li is trading very heavily on the top side. Silver looking pretty low. Might have to go back after this wave. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana. Unlikely to die, and even if he does, he should just be able to clean up that wave really quickly. Both junglers are now looking towards their bottom side as Jarvan is slightly ahead of the Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao kind of guessing this or maybe having some information. Just heading straight for that top trap. Jarvan looking for a bit of a gank in the mid lane. We'll see if that has too much action. Doesn't look like it. Jarvan's just going to reset, pick up his item. Both mid laners have also reset, as we see a Ruby Crystal coming out for Anivia, while a Dark Seal coming out for the side of Orianna. Silver able to kind of hold against Hu Li. Really has that wave in a relatively good spot. Hu Li is very vulnerable as Jarvan makes his way up back towards the top side of the map. Hu Li does not have a whole lot of mana on that K'Sante and could get a little sticky if Jarvan decides to poke his head out and see what might happen. Silver doesn't have a ton of ability to follow up right now, but could still become a little bit troublesome. Silver doing an excellent job of holding that wave right in front of his turret though, as Glacier gets off another trap that MCC walks into while he's in range. A lot of poke being dished out from the blue side here, as Cruci just tries to get whatever farm possible. Down about a wave to the Caitlyn right now, which isn't too bad given the state of the game, but Glacier taking a lot of poke here, but absolutely able to dish it back as Cruci goes down to half health. Neither laner using barrier though, so all sums are still up for the bottom side, as that boomerang blade is going to go through the wave reasonably quickly, clear it out, and now Jarvan is looking for Drake, but he doesn't seem to know that red side bottom lane looking for some of that deeper vision on the Tribush. The lane will go back to even state, and Orianna is here to help take the dragon, but Tacos is on this bottom side and potentially looking for a gank. Does he know that this Drake is going down? I don't think he does. Red side walked in and got vision on the try, but they completely forgot to put vision on the objective. It's just going to be given away for free. Anivia is going to recall to the mid lane. Does have Catalyst of Eons, which is going to make her level 6 quite a bit easier, given the passive of the item, which gives mana back when you take damage. But you're essentially trading health and mana. Orianna, however, is in a very bad spot, and if she's not careful, this could end in her death. She's going to greed for the last of that wave and look to recall. Does have level 6 now, so both mid laners in a relatively strong spot. Orianna's ultimate, though, is more of a combat ult, while in mid lane on the Anivia, the ultimate Ice Storm is a lot better in terms of farming and creating space. Anivia is going to get a very deep ward on the Raptors on blue side. This should give bot lane a little bit more safety, knowing when that Jarvan is headed their way. They do know that the Raptor camp has been taken, but that ward will definitely live long enough to see him come back for the respawn. Both junglers matching each other's clears pretty well. Not a whole lot of action or ganks though. I really expected to see at least Jarvan show up, but he has not paid a single visit to the bottom lane. Caitlyn is looking pretty strong though, and should be a pretty good follow-up damage if he does decide to come down. That Dirk and 2 long swords versus a Caulfield's Warhammer it's going to be pretty close on when these junglers show up, but the advantage will go to red side since they know exactly where Jarvan is, and he's decided to kind of wander up towards the top side, looking for that grub spawn, which should give the red side a lot of opportunity to dive this Caitlyn, and I think that's what they're looking to do. Arya going to show up in the mid lane. Command Shockwave going to be used, but not able to secure the kill. Arya now looking to be in a bit of trouble as Sivir ults forward. Arya will go down for first blood. And J4 has to pull off the grubs. He's not able to take them anymore. That mid lane gank just did not go the way Glacier's team wanted it to. Very unfortunate for the bot lane, or excuse me, the mid lane of Glacier Ascent. However, Caitlyn gets a lot of time to herself on the bottom side, and she does love to farm. MZC not going to discover the location of that recalling Caitlyn, and she is able to get away safely. Arya is going to attempt to hold this wave for the ADC before Caitlyn returns. Potentially get some poke off. That bubble did not look like it was going to do a whole lot as Arya wanders up to get a ward in red side bot bush. Mid lane should be a lot easier for Anivia at this point. She doesn't really need to poke. She can kind of put her ultimate down and walk away. Orianna wanting to be that serious lane bully, but she needs to spend a lot of mana to do it. And unfortunately, with the way Anivia doesn't really want to interact with this lane, not going to be a whole lot happening. Both junglers once again clearing top to bottom. We'll see potentially if we get some action from Jarvan as he's walking down to the side while his ADC and support are being pushed in. Unfortunately though, he's a little bit behind on XP. On the previous Grubs played, Xin was able to clear his entire camps, and those camps are going to be one level up on Farmville's Red and Krugs, which is going to make it a little bit awkward in terms of experience difference, which we can already kind of see coming out. Tacos is about half a level up on Farmville. As we see a TP coming in from Cassante, Silver already here. Looks like there's going to be a large objective fight. Sivir popping ultimate. Silver standing in the middle. A huge shockwave before Orianna goes down, but there's just no follow-up as Glacier has to flash away. 2 stuns coming off of Farmville. Arya throwing out the wave. Nobody there to ride it as the team fight will kind of fall apart, and Orianna's the only one dead. Farmville potentially looking for that steal, but I'm going to tell you, with 5 people there, it's not looking very likely. He is going to go over the wall, though. 1,600 health. Jarvan EQs out of the back of the pit. And 3 tacos will secure that second Drake. 1 apiece for each team. Farmville not able to sneak that one away this time. And gold still looking pretty even after that team fight. Silver is going to get some plates on the top side while Cassante is still walking back out. Cassante will lose a lot of that current wave and potentially some of the next. He will be there to catch the experience for it. MZC very low on mana, bit of an overstay. As Glacier is just going to take control of this lane, push it in hard, look to collect some plates for himself. Arya does need to be careful here. I don't think that they know that Xin is still on the bottom side. Glacier will easily take that plate, and Arya does know. Not only does Arya know, but the back is stopped from Xin Zhao as Tempo is here to put some pressure. And Anivia just going to walk away. Both sides trading a little bit of HP and mana, and we're happy. But Ori is going to love the fact that she just got 2 plates for absolutely free. Not a whole lot going up on the top side. K'Sante is down about 2 waves as Farmville looking to make a play in the jungle. Ori Shockwave will go through. Xin Zhao forced to ult. There is a very close, and Orianna will pick up the kill with an auto. Tempo now kind of looking to poke on the way out. Will miss the Q. As it is a 1-for-0 trade on this for the side of Glacier Ascent. Arya looking for a massive wave bubble, but Tempo able to flash away. Slight misplay. Don't think the flash was necessarily needed there, and the bubble was a little bit late, but it does get the Anivia flash, and now Anivia has almost no way. As Glacier putting out some very respectable damage, while MZC just seems to really like those cupcakes in the middle of those traps. I don't know. Doesn't seem to be very healthy for him, though. He really seems to be taking a lot of hits for those cupcakes. Glacier ignoring the wave completely. Just poking Cruci out of lane. It is now impossible for the Sivir to get anywhere close to that wave until Janna comes back. Is able to protect her a little bit more. Glacier is getting really, really close to that first turret, and those grubs are really putting in work. Caitlyn is able to make a lot happen with those grubs, and it's showing. They're down to 2 plates, really 1.5. And if Janna walks away again while Glacier is there on the Caitlyn, that turret may go down. A little bit of trading back and forth in the bottom river as Tempo returns to clean up the wave. Both mid laners now on their first item. The first one's there's a flash over the wall, and there's the egg. Ferticube is going to look, but Farmville will take that kill. He'll be very satisfied with the gold. Trading his flash and ultimate for a little bit of a bag. Glacier now getting a bit of a taste of his own medicine as it is a 2v1 against him. Janna being there and Nami not means that he's going to take a lot of poke. As Cruci pops ultimate, seems to want to run forward, but just decides to walk in the opposite direction instead. Glacier definitely came off the better end of that trade, and given that Nami has heals while Janna only has shields, I think they're going to be quite happy with that. Tacos Please is looking for this Drake, but Silver says, you are going to have to deal with me. And Tacos will say, nope, flash away. Arya throws out the wave. Glacier throws out Caitlyn ultimate. And both teams will just kind of go back to farming. Janna ultimate will come out, but Glacier really wants this turret. He's ignoring even the trapped Sivir. Will not be able to get the kill, and instead it is going to be Arya on the Nami going down. Xin now down here to cover, while Farmville seems to know what's up. He's going forward while his ADC is getting jumped on by 2 people, and now Farmville really needs to run. Tacos is looking, does not quite have it, but the Anivia Q does land, and the wall will prevent him from going anywhere. Well played to get a response kill. It is 2 for 2, but the dragon will be Tacos if he so desires. And it looks like he does. Cordy is looking to potentially contest this objective, and Arya kind of pinching as a TP from K'Sante comes out. Looks like Huli is just going to show up to secure this objective. Another Scion ultimate comes through, and K'Sante is there to keep him away. This is nope, not today. Glacier is looking for that mid lane turret now that he's taken the bottom one. Just wants to get as much gold in his pocket as possible. He is building Hubris first. We'll see how well that works out for him. I think his Hubris might get the better of him if he cannot position correctly. Immortal Shield Bow should be the follow-up item for that. Gives him a lot more ability to stand and deliver. That shield being incredibly aggressive. He will just walk up to the top side and look to take a third turret. And if red side allows this to happen, it could be very difficult to play into this Caitlyn. 3 turrets in quick succession is going to give Glacier a lot of gold, and that Immortal Shield Bow is going to be very quickly completed. Looks like they're in a bit of trouble though. The wave does come out, and Janna ultimate will be in response. Silver TPing up to the top side. Are we going to get another team fight as Huli goes unstoppable, but the bubble knocks both of them up. Tacos is here as well. Orianna ults coming out. Farmville. Huli pops Cassante ultimate. Jarvan ulti catches 3 people, and it's just a slaughter in the cage. Overcube trading a little bit with tempo, but the egg coming back up makes it very difficult. Shockwave will come out, and tempo's looking really low. If that Q can be avoided, the egg comes out, and it is not looking good for red side. Losing on both sides of the map here. Orianna will not have enough damage, and they trade. That may be one of the first times I've seen a straight up 1-for-1 trade in an in-house. Glacier is going to be very happy with the fact that 4 turrets have now been taken by the Caitlyn. That is a lot of gold, and Hextech Optics is going to be the next item, along with a BF sword. That Hubris looks like he's earned it. Sivir, however, is also on 2 items, does not have the BF sword, and will be down about 1,300 gold, but still able to clear waves very quickly, and it should be very difficult for blue side to push up in any lane that the Sivir is occupying. For now though, things are going to calm down. About a 5k gold lead for the side of Glacier Ascent. They are down 1 Drake, but they are up 3 Grubs and 4 turrets. Not a single turret able to be taken from the red side. Silver is going to look to push this bot lane in, and he is going to get a little bit of attention from the enemy support and his own jungler, but with Anivia there, it's just going to be very difficult. And right now, I think that the best thing for red side to do is just sit back, clear waves, farm up, look to control team fights around objectives, as Nami Wave will come out from Arya to stop MZC back. Farmville is here looking to go in on Cruci, but catches 2, and Tacos is creating a lot of space between Glacier and Farmville. That play did not work out the way that they intended. Tacos standing right in front is cosplaying Braum. Stand behind me. As Sion's going to take a crack at it this time, is going to run into the wall and not going to get the knock up on MZC. He's going to flash forward for it, and I think he lives. MCC dies. Silver will finally go down under the weight of 3 other people, but this mid turret not looking long for this world, and Taco's pushing forward, but doesn't have a whole lot of health. He will get his shield up, and Huli is going to go unstoppable onto Orianna, but he doesn't really have any backup, and he's just going to fall. Glacier now looking for both Tacos. Oh, he will get Cruci. Tacos is going to battle the Orianna, and it looks like he gets the better of that fight. Tempo, very happy to just ignore the drama, sit on the bot lane, farm up. Farmville is looking, and Tacos cancels the back. I think if he had just held onto it, he wouldn't have had to burn ultimate there. MZC looking to give Farmville a little bit of trouble, but the Janna Tornado does not allow him to move forward. Farmville will take first control of this objective. He does not currently have his mid laner, but Arya is here to support. A little bit of vision fighting going on between the supports here as Farmville just collecting this Drake. It looks like Arya might be in a bit of trouble. They are going to have to get this Drake very, very quickly as Silver ulting up from the bottom. Tempo is caught on the other side of the fight. Farmville is just going to EQ over the back of the Drake pit. Cordy is looking to get his top laner out, but he is going to get caught out as well. And MCC getting knocked up. Jarvan ulti once more, but Janna in response. Silver looking to protect Glacier from Tacos, and he does successfully. Now they need to walk it out as it's currently a 3-for-1 in favor of Red Side. Even though they got that Drake, they lost the team fight following. Tempo does have Egg and can look to challenge Silver a little bit more on that Scion. We'll go to collect the wave, just push it in. Silver potentially looking to hide in the bush, but decides better of it. Just walks up, clears the wave. Tempo does not really do a whole lot of damage, and he might be in a little bit of trouble here if he doesn't manage to stun and just walk away, but he will land it. Does set up for the recall, and now both teams are going to start looking at that big purple worm. Arya up here on the top side, looking to give some trouble to MZC and Huli. Tempo just moving right back down to that bottom side, going back to the farm game. A little bit of vision contest between MZC and Arya here. Glacier will complete the Infinity Edge, but his counterpart has also completed their own Infinity Edge. Both ADCs looking very strong, having very similar KDAs. As Scion ulti will come through onto Cruci, will miss, but the follow-up Ori ulti looks really good. Taco's creating a lot of space in this fight, but Huli is getting chunked. Tempo does TP up, will put in the Anivia ulti. Ori ulti comes out, and it's a slaughter once more inside of Cataclysm. Cruci trying his best, and a lot of low health bars on the side of Glacier Ascent, but just no one there to completely gray them out. Will Tempo find the angle as Cruci getting jumped on by Jarvan once again? MCC is trying to protect him as much as he possibly can. Tempo flashing over the Jarvan. Caitlyn ulting, not quite enough damage. As finally Glacier Ascent will attempt to back. Arya getting stopped once more, but we will return to 5 people alive on each team. Red Side making this game incredibly competitive, even though there is a 5k gold disparity. In every team fight, they are attempting to create as much space as they can. Tacos is trying to stand between his laners, his back line, and the enemy front line, and doing quite well. Even if he has to go down for it, sometimes he and Huli are the only ones in a team fight who go down. Their backline really able to deal out a lot of damage. Tempo is going to try to poke out Scion here, but Scion has a very massive shield at this point. Quite a few stacks on his passive. Will not care too much about that Anivia until some of those burn items start to come through. He will probably be mildly annoyed by those Anivia Qs though. Very difficult to clear the wave the way that he wants to. On the other hand, though, Glacier Ascent are just going to send it for the Baron. I don't think Red Side knows about this at all. Xin Zhao's backing it, it would just be gone. That's it. Farmville, or somebody on Glacier Ascent, makes the call, and the rest of the team respond. Completely uncontested Baron, MZC potentially getting run down and being pinched between Tempo, or excuse me, between Silver. There will be a TP down from Qwerty Cube. Tacos is knocked over the wall and knocked up. He will ultimate. Farmville looking for the play on Tempo as Orianna will also come out, and Anivia goes into Egg. Hu Li looking to protect his laner. MZC in the middle of all of it. Silver flashing forward. Glacier running down Cruci, and that will be the fight. 3 dead on the red side. Blue side looking to make it a 4th as they aggressively attack this turret. Tempo going to do the absolute best that Anivia can to clear this wave out, but unfortunately, Anivia, it is Baron minions, and they have a decent amount of magic resist, and you do not have a lot of damage. That bot lane tier 2 will go down. Glacier and Arya playing the mid lane. Looks like they are just going to rotate, not even attempt to get that inhibitor. Farmville will pick up the 3rd Infernal Drake and the 3rd Drake for his team, as it has now gone from a 5k to a 7k gold lead, and it is looking a little dangerous on the red side. Tacos does not have the ability to stand in front of his team for long enough, and unfortunately Cruci is just not able to find the right angles to deal that damage. Anivia not able to do a whole lot as Farmville possibly walking into 3 people. That sweeper will alert him, and he will be able to walk out safely. As now red side just kind of turtling in their base. They still have a lot of wave clear, but Tempo has no mana. Sion can just take this turret for free, and the mid inhibitor will go down as well. Silver just not able to do anything. Silver looking for the ultimate here. Will not find anybody, but certainly forcing back the red side. As now they look to defend their bottom inhibitor as a full 5 team. Orianna not even there, not even needed. Glacier does get caught out. As Hu Li looks to go forward onto Silver, Farmville going to find himself very low as Ori walks over. Silver will go down, the Cataclysm comes out, but it's just over. Red side able to finally find a successful team fight, and they will go up 3-0. Let's see if they can actually push out some of these lanes, collect some of the turret gold. There's a lot of standing gold on the map, and I bet those crystals on those tier 1 turrets are looking pretty big right about now. Sivir finally completes Mortal Reminder. On the side of Glacier, we have Lord Dominic's Regard. Orianna getting a decap here, and Anivia not yet able to finish that Liandry's Torment is going to make the team fights a little bit rough. Sion also able to make a lot of plays for his team. Does have that full item up on the Cassante, and Cassante only having, Cassante, both Cassante and Sion do have 3 items at this point. Hu Li was able to get enough gold to complete the new item. As now we're looking to fight in red side's red side jungle. Silver, Farmville, and Arya, along with Glacier a little bit behind, looking to steal away that red as Tempo will find the Orianna, and it is not looking good. The ultimate comes out, the shockwave does a lot of damage, but I don't think it's enough. Orianna is just going to go down for free. Had no idea The tempo was sitting right there, just waiting. As Sion goes forward, the Cataclysm comes out, but it blocks the Sion ulti, and Cruci is able to stand and deliver. Glacier has to walk back, but Tacos and Huli are going to catch up. Silver is slowed. Arya doing the absolute best that Nami can, but just not able to keep the ADC alive. Silver and Arya the only ones left here in the mid lane, and Red side finally able to find their team fights. Their laners have farmed up. They've scaled. Silver is trying his absolute best to keep this wave outside of the tower to stall for just enough time, and he does have a lot of health. He's going to ultimate once again and flash right back out, doing a great job of stalling. And Farmville coming up right now. 40 on the way back to that mid wave. Will they be able to contest for this Baron? I don't think so. While Silver does have TP, his ultimate is only half up, and that Baron is half gone. 4k health. Silver is going to poke his head in there. Arya throws the wave. Not able to get there in time, but Huli TPing in a very awkward position. He is just going to die for his jungler's sins as the rest of their team walks out, try to keep the base from falling. And Glacier Ascent may not get the Baron, but they did get an exit kill, and they will look to use that to get Infernal Soul. Incredibly strong on both Orianna and Caitlyn. They will collect it without contention. And Glacier Ascent looking to make some very strong moves in response to losing that Baron. Now in 5 minutes, the next Baron will spawn, and in 6 minutes, the Elder will spawn. Orianna once again in a position where he's not really able to get a kill onto Anivia. Anivia will go into egg form, but nobody's really there to do any damage. And Cordy will just die in a side lane for free. Again, no vision at all for this Orianna. Unfortunately, QWERTY, you are not playing Sion. You cannot just stand and... MZC just loses half his health. Right there. From a single Caitlyn crit. Tempo will back off as Farmville looks to protect this bottom turret, but he doesn't have as good wave clear as his mid laner. And the rest of Red side are descending on him. They really want this bot lane turret. Sion is going to ult into a wall. Not an Anivia wall, just a regular wall. That I'm not quite sure what was going on there, but I'm sure the comms are a little disappointed in that particular play. Looks like a bit of tilt may be starting to creep in from the side of Glacier Ascent, as they have not been able to close out this game. They had all 3 inhibitors down. Excuse me, they had 2 inhibitors down and a third one open. And they're being pushed in. They're losing the 7k gold lead that they had after that first Baron. Red side have really done a very good job of evening this game up, playing team fights well, waiting for their carries to scale, and it is really showing. There are 2 GAs for the side of Red on Sivir and on Xin Zhao. That is going to make the next few team fights very difficult to play. Even if Xin Zhao happens to go down while trying to create space for his team, give him a few seconds and he'll be right back up again. Now Silver is by himself on this bottom side, and there are a lot of people down here to kill him. The Anivia wall comes out, and Sion will hit that this time, so at least it wasn't quite as embarrassing, but 4 people do manage to get the job done. That Sion is very tanky, and Glacier Ascent will just say, we're going to send it. we're just going to take as many inhibitors as we can. Tempo will have to flash out of the Cataclysm to avoid a follow-up bubble, and Glacier Ascent are going to look to walk out, but Glacier just does damage. He's standing and delivering. Wu Li is looking to go in on him. Arya is looking to keep him alive. He will manage to take down the Cassante, but Tacos comes up behind and says no. You will not get another kill. Tacos will flash forward, but get knocked up immediately by Jarvan Flag and Drag. And while Glacier Ascent will get 2 inhibitors off of that play, they will lose 3 members. That's going to make it very frustrating. As Farmville is going to stay true to his name, just farm it up. This game has returned to almost even. After being down 7k, we are almost back to an even state. And the Baron coming up in a minute, the Elder coming up in 2 minutes, it is going to be a very tough team fight for these 2 teams. This one endgame objective, Baron or Elder, depending on which one they decide to go for, could very well end it all. However, Red Side still has quite a few turrets that they're going to need to work through in order to make an end happen. They still have not cracked the base. There are no inhibitors down for Red Side, and that is going to make pushing these lanes in very, very difficult for them. As QWERTY and Arya will walk together, that mid support duo. Wu Li pokes his head in, and QWERTY says not today. There are 4 people over here though, so if QWERTY is not careful, he could be in a very dangerous situation. Tacos is looking for him, but doesn't seem to find him. A lot of setup and a lot of posturing going in around this Drake, but Glacier Ascent do have the advantage, as well as the pushing supers. That bottom wave, not looking good for Red Side, and they are going to have to send someone, most likely Tempo, back, as Tacos will lose a third of his HP to a single auto from Caitlyn. That is not what you want to see. Not even Cruci can put out that kind of damage right now, and Cruci is absolutely full build. A lot of posturing towards the bottom side now, as Elder is going to be the objective that the teams decide they want to fight for. Flag and Drag forward, but not really a whole lot, as QWERTY has the ball in a good position, but not able to keep it there for very long. Silver will look for a Q as Glacier starts up this Drake, but Wu Li gets over the wall. Tacos goes in on QWERTY. The fight looks very split right now as Wu Li goes down. Tacos is trying his best. Glacier also trying his best on the backline. MZC very, very low, but unfortunately, Glacier is all alone. He has lost his mid laner. His jungler is chunked out. His top laner is TPing into the enemy base. And potentially, there is still an angle for a steal from Farmville. He is very low, and unfortunately, it is going to be his death. Silver will manage to get both turrets, and he's going to look to end. Can he get this? With Elder, it's going to be very, very difficult, but that minion wave is huge. I don't know if Red Side can defend this. Tacos is going to have to do his best. Tempo is going to have to use his ultimate to clear out the wave. And it was very risky for a moment there. Sion almost backdoored that game. Arya, the last one alive, will set some vision up on the Baron side and recall 5 members on the red side with Elder Drake is going to make this Baron fight very, very difficult. On top of the mid lane inhibitor for red side coming back up, not as much pushing power. Bot lane soon to follow. Glacier Ascent need to find a pick or a very strong team fight. I think they're probably going to look for a pick. But Red side is doing a very, very, very good job of sticking together, clearing waves, finding the right angles, and Glacier not having GA is going to mean that they pretty much have to give up this Baron. 3 members. As the team fight comes out, it will be the Sion ulti just straight into the base. They're looking for the end. I don't think Red side can do anything about this as Janna looks for the ulti and Jarvan looks for the Cataclysm. They're low, but Sion's just ending the game. They can't kill him in time. There's no possibility. K'Sante is going to look for the ulti, but it's just over. Silver making the hero play, walking into the base as his team is forced to give up Baron, will take the victory for Glacier Ascent. And while some may call that a bit of a ratty victory, I think it is totally acceptable to win the game in any way possible. With that, we are going to take a quick break while the team set up the next lobby. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back for game number 2 of In-Houses. This time, Huli's team will be facing Polaris' team. We're going to jump right into draft here, and Lissandra is going to be the first champion out of the game. Huli going to respond with an Urgot ban. Let's see what Insunset has to get rid of. Polaris fielding a very stacked lineup here. Dank Pingu and Dusk Legends, both very strong players. Polaris, an amazing player in his own right. Insunset, a very good jungler, will ban Naafiri. And Amumu is going to be the immediate answer. Some lockdown bans coming out from the side of both teams, as Eve's Rose Toy is going to be the final ban for Polaris' team. Is 7 seconds left to decide, and he will decide on Akali. Akali, a very slippery champion, along with Naafiri, as Teemo going to be the third ban for red side here. Caitlyn going to be the immediate pickup for Dank Pingu. Let's see what red side has to respond with. With Amumu out of the game, there are quite a few ADCs that are going to feel a bit safer. As that timer ticks away, the choice is going to be potentially random. It'll be Taliyah. Taliyah in the mid lane, most likely, as I don't think I've seen a Taliyah support in quite some time. Not matching the pickups from the blue side is an interesting strategy when it comes to drafting. We'll see what the second red side pick is going to be here in about 3 seconds. And it's going to be Miss Fortune. Now, Miss Fortune does not outrange Caitlyn, but with that passive and with double tap, it is a little stressful as Caitlyn. Shaco going to be the pickup for blue side, and that could be Insensate Shaco, or it could be Shaco support, both incredibly annoying as Seraphine comes out as the potential response to Taliyah. However, it is a flex pick as well, and so if we do see Shaco in the jungle, we could potentially see Seraphine support, or we could see it, as previously mentioned, in the mid lane. The final the final pick coming out from red side is the Blitzcrank, and Blitz Miss Fortune is pretty strong. However, they're likely going to want to ban Braum, as that is a very good answer to Miss Fortune. Seraphine, also a reasonable answer to Miss Fortune, but Braum and Nami can really make life difficult. A couple of hovers coming out, and it looks like they're going to settle on Mel, a very annoying champion, and in some people's views, a very unfair champion. Definitely difficult for Seraphine to play into that, but a lot of the changes made by Riot recently have definitely made Mel easier to play into, and a lot more easier to punish. K'Sante going to be the response ban from Polaris. Renekton in response to that response. And Dusk Legends with the final ban choice here. Blue side definitely taking their time, making sure that they decide and all agree. Sion looking to be the potential final ban here, as it will be locked in, and red side is going to pick up their second to last choice. How are they going to round out this team? Taliyah, Miss Fortune, and Blitzcrank can work very well together, kind of zoning the enemy into one spot. Gnar also incredibly good for that task with his ultimate and W. Yuumi, the hover for Dusk Legends, but that doesn't necessarily seem correct. It could be Yuumi support Seraphine mid. We will find out here shortly as Yasuo, Zed, 3 seconds to decide. It is going to be the Zed. Quite a bit better into Taliyah than Yasuo would be, and definitely better than Yuumi would be. But Zed being melee is going to make that matchup into Taliyah very difficult. Polaris hovering Akshan here. Akshan top, not a very common pick, but still playable. And Polaris is very good at the champion, good at popping up when you least expect. He is going to swap over to Wukong, trying to look to disrupt the misfortune, control the fights a little bit more. Will be difficult into Taliyah as the Fizz is the final pickup, and it looks like it's going to be a jungle Taliyah, which has not been seen for a little while, but will be interesting to see how they decide to play this one out. Fizz into Zed is a very interesting matchup. Whoever ults first loses. So we need to see a little bit of coordination from the blue side. Seraphine, of course, can ulti over Shaco, Shaco, Zed, or Wukong as they attempt to go in. Gnar, Taliyah, and Misfortune looking to kind of control the fight area, get everyone grouped up, and then bullet time over the top of all of them. And with that, draft is complete. We are going to go to a short break while we load in the game. And welcome back. We have a very early invade coming out for the side of Huli. Blitzcrank will flash Q and force the early flash out of Dusk Legends. Polaris and Huli dancing together in the top lane. And a little bit of advantage for this Fizz very early on. Dusk is going to need to play a little bit safer in the mid lane as MCC and Cruzy looking to get an advantage on the bottom side into Dang Pingu and Rose Toy. Cruzy should be relatively familiar with this matchup since that was the exact same ADC played against last game. Dusk Legends will get the level 2 slightly above, but that troll pole is going to make Tempo come out on top of the trade. Fizz able to proc the Electrocute, while Dusk Legends sadly is not. Tacos, however, is going to run into a Shaco trap and may not know. I think he does know that there's a Shaco there. And Sunset will just steal away his red buff, taking his own blue. And Tacos is going to be a little bit sad about that one. Uli getting traded on very heavily as Tempo procs his Electrocute in the mid lane, getting some of those very annoying trades off. Uli's Gnar forced to back off a little bit and dropping quite a bit of farm at the moment into Polaris, as Wukong is incredibly strong in those early levels. Dusk Legends once again getting some damage off on Tempo. The Troll Pole comes out, but Tempo is very quickly losing these early trades. Both junglers looking for their first crab. We'll see if Taco decides to invade Insenset's red side here. Insenset did manage to take away a lot of camps from the Taliyah, but he may lose some in return because he has barely cleared his red side yet, or his blue side, excuse me. Percy and MCC getting some vision down, trading pretty heavily. Relatively even farm on the bottom side is Polaris, still looking to play hyper aggressive now that the advantage is definitely clear. MCC getting off a very early roam, and they seem to know on the bottom side that Misfortune is not going to be able to touch this next wave as Tempo looks to go in, but Tempo has to flash away. Taco's getting some revenge for the loss of his red side as Insenset looks to take his Raptors away again and getting chunked out very heavily. Polaris chunking Huli, that Ignite flash coming out, and that's just it. First blood goes to Polaris. And I'm going to be honest, while I don't know a lot about top lane, that matchup does not look very fun. MZC missing the hook. Tacos having a little bit of a rough time here as Polaris comes up to give his jungler an assist. They will be stunned up and Tacos will walk away, having to give up his Krugs and his flash, but not his life. MZC looking for the flash play over the wall. Dusk Legends just trying to keep Tempo from getting into this farm, and he just EQs. Tempo is dead. He still had his Ignite up. Couldn't go for the aggressive play, and he is going to be down by a level. He will pick up his Sheen first, which will make these trades a lot more favorable. But it's still going to be very difficult at this point. Zed looking for his first recall. Has 42 gold and 1 kill in the bank. And the Caulfield's Warhammer, boots, and a control ward will be the first thing to come out from him. Bot lane looking to get their first back off here, as Tacos will attempt to clear his bottom side. Huli once again getting traded on the top side. A little bit of a farm advantage for Tacos in the jungle. However, looks like a play on bottom side as MZC flashes in, does not get the successful stop on the back, even with that flash knockup play. Very disappointing from him, as they will just push in that bot wave and back off. And it looks like we have a slight pause. Hopefully not too long. And right now, in the mid lane, it's looking a little rough. The top lane also looking a little bit rough as Polaris goes in for the ultimate. He just decided to send it. Huli will flash away. And he does look like He will get the escape. Nope. Polaris will jump in, will trade his own life, but Huli not able to survive in top lane. And as I said before, Polaris very confident in the top lane, very strong laner, and a very, very difficult opponent. Huli can absolutely hold his own, but it's rough going up there, and the scoreboard absolutely reflects that. 52 CS to 37 is not where you want to be on Gnar. As MCC will get the pull, MF bullet time over the top, Dank Pingu forced to barrier, will be burning, will not go all the way down, but Eve's Rose Toy on the Seraphine will fall. And Cruci able to get a little bit of revenge for how rough that last game was. Tempo going down, almost able to get the return kill as the knockup keeps Dusk Legends in turret range for a little bit longer than he would have liked. But in the end, he does manage to walk away. Taliyah looking for the play in mid lane, but Zed's a slippery fellow. He will execute to the turret. No kill picked up there by Tacos for his ultimate. Very disappointing play. Red side, some good plays, some disappointing ones. Huli looking to push this wave in while he's still Mega Gnar. Does have his Tiamat now, so farming will be a little bit easier for him. He can do so at range. But Polaris is looking to play very aggressive. Insensate will invade once more. Taco's looking for the potential play on the Seraphine. Tempo is here, but what can he really do? Eve's Rose Toy flashing away as the pull on the clone, but Seraphine will still go down. Now, Dank Pingu is in a little bit of an awkward position. Tempo looking to just run him down. Polaris on the top side, ulting in on Huli. He doesn't get the Mega Gnar. The pull from MCC on Dank Pingu means he will go down, and we have trades back and forth all over the place. On the bottom side, though, red side is slightly stronger, and they will be looking for that first Drake. They do have to be a little bit careful, especially against a Shaco who can just go invisible. But given he has no idea how quickly this Drake is going down, it's going to be a little bit hard to time this. He does seem to time it correctly, though, but just does not get the smite. Silence before he can get back over the wall, pulled in by Blitzcrank, and he will give up his life for his failure. Taco's finally getting a little bit of revenge for that rough early play. Will look for a play on Dusk Legends, but unfortunately, I don't think there's a whole lot happening here. And Tacos decides not to invade. Even though Shaco is headed straight for the grubs, he will just go take his blue on that Taliyah. Huli still pushing in this wave very heavily as MCC is back and the bullet time comes out. MCC is looking for the pull, but the charm comes off. Cruci getting hit by Dank Pingu. Will manage to get the kill, but he will trade his life in return, and that is a 2-for-1 on the bottom side. Dank Pingu did preserve his barrier, and so did Cruci, which is a little bit odd. I think if Cruci had barriered there, he might still have lived that Caitlyn ult. Could have made it a 2-for-0 on the bottom side. Red side's still going to have to deal with the very strong top side of the map, with both Dusk Legends and Polaris being very, very annoying. Misfortune having to deal with a fed Wukong is very difficult, as MCC will just walk into lane, press ulti, and Zed has nowhere to go. Tempo getting a little bit back in that mid lane. Will most likely come back with most of his first item completed, as Huli just looks to farm it up on the top side. Polaris is the one bright spot for blue side right now. Tacos will go on a ride to the bottom side, and Dang Pingu will attempt to dash over Unraveled Earth. I think as we can see, that one didn't really work out. As Polaris will go in, but Huli will just ultimate him backwards. He does lose Mega Gnar, and with the Shaco being right there, that means he will also lose his life. Tempo looking for that last auto, will not get it, and Polaris... Excuse me, Tempo will walk out with his life. Tacos is here to cover. As we see Cruci and MCC push that wave in bottom side, Seraphine will just hold the wave for her ADC. As they cancel their back, but I don't think they're really looking for a play here. I think they really want to go back and finish that Misfortune Bloodthirster. MCC will stay and attempt the pull. Does not land it. And he is just going to run his way back to his tower and go back home. A lot of good vision setup on the bottom side here for both teams. As that lane is being pushed in. Once again, the bullet time comes out, but not a whole lot of damage as Cruci will take quite a bit of poke in return. Does use his barrier against the Caitlyn ult this time and does survive long enough for his support to come back. And now Dark Pingu is in a lot of trouble. Forced to flash away from that Blitzcrank hook. That could have been his death once again, as his support was trying to back there. Huli shoving in the wave. Still about 20 CS down. Very difficult proposition for him. Z will look to get a little bit aggressive. Tempo trying to clear the wave. Polaris is just going to clone away. And not a lot of roams from this Fizz. Very difficult to get away from a roaming Fizz, but there just hasn't been the opportunity. Zed clears those waves very, very quickly. Cruci attempting to back, but Pingu will stop him, and he has no flash this time, but the hook just misses. Polaris TPing down to the bottom side, but it may be too late, although Seraphine getting that stun. Cruci is dead. MCC looking to walk out as Huli TPs in response. Tacos is down here as well, prevents Pingu from dashing over the wall. Polaris very close to death, but so is Tacos as Ding Pingu looking to get that return kill, and Huli will go in. Tacos is dead, and Pingu uses barrier to no effect. Seraphine managing to get the stun off. Huli's trying to chase, but with that Gnar, it's just not looking possible. Tempo will get ulted by Dusk Legends. He will get bursted down, and he will die. Overall, a 2-for-2 trade, but Polaris going down means a lot of gold given over to the red side, and now we are back in pretty much an even state. Only about 500 gold to separate both of these teams. Dusk Legends does need to walk away from MCC as Incensent looks to set up this next Drake, but Cruci is there. And he's just going to have to go over the wall. He's very low, and they know exactly where he is. The bullet time is good. And Shaco will lose his life. Now MCC is in a very tough position as well. Does get the hook, but loses his life for it. Cruci not far behind as he's being chased down by Seraphine. Tacos will complete the Drake, and Tempo is there to support. But everyone else is just going to walk away. A 1-for-1 trade, support per jungle, means that red side gets the Drake. And Tacos is doing a very good job of playing the hand that he's dealt. He's managed to get both of these Drakes off of the map. He's managed to get a couple of assists for himself, being very influential in the bot lane. However, they will lose first turret. As Huli here has his first item and is looking to make life a little bit difficult for Polaris for a change. But Wukong is still very strong. Does go in with the ulti, and Huli is just going to ult him away, take the ignite, and walk out. And I don't know if Huli knows that he has exhaust, but I think a couple of those could have been a little bit better. As Polaris will attempt to get over the wall, but he does not have the movement speed, and he will lose his life. Taco's doing a very good job of affecting multiple people across the map. Insensate is attempting to take this Herald, but he's low. He does manage to get it, but he may lose his life. He can't get the Eye of the Herald. He will trade, but Huli is going to defend this with his life. Caitlyn walking up here, and that Narbar is going to make things very difficult. Caitlyn doing a lot of damage, though. Does get stunned up, and Cruci is there to assist. The Eye of the Herald is going to dissipate. And Tacos gets the gold, or excuse me, Insensate gets the gold. Does not get the Herald, as Tempo, chunked very low, will use his ultimate in response to Zed. Does manage to get out, but this Zed is still scary. MCC walking aggressively forward, attempts the hook once again, and once again comes up with a big fat nothing. Oh. Polaris ulting Huli under the turret. I'm not sure that really goes well for Polaris at this point in the game, especially with Gnar almost having his Narbar up. Polaris gets pulled by MCC. His clone does not protect him as Huli ults him against the wall, stuns him up, presses Q. They don't have a lot of damage here. Brucey losing his life on the other side of this fight. Huli attempting, but both the bot laners die. Dank Pingu is here for support, and Huli has to run. It will be a flash for flash, and Caitlyn ult is going to come out, but unfortunately, no collector to back up that Infinity Edge means Huli escapes with his life. Dank Pingu will take the topside turret though, and have a lot more gold in his pocket. He is sitting on 2 items, as is his counterpart. Tempo is attempting a play on bottom side, but those chain link crushers are going to make things very difficult for him, and he's just going to go down. On the top side, a lot of people feared up, but a lot of people in a single corridor, and Seraphine does not have ult. Dark Pingu will get punished for pushing the wave that far ahead, and Insensate has to back off. Polaris here to push in this very large mid wave. MCC looking for a little bit of poke, a little bit of vision. Huli back on the top side as the mid turret will go down, and that is the last of the outers. Blue side still has all 3 outer turrets up. Red side not looking so hot. Those grubs are starting to put in work. As the gold lead gap will open up a little bit. Still only about 500, but the 2 Drakes to the 3 turrets are going to even things out a little bit. Kill's still pretty even. Both bot laners on 2 items. As Dusk Legends will get pulled by MCC, but not really a lot of follow-up damage and a lot of follow-up protection. Huli is down here. Polaris hard shoving topside. Those Shaco boxes are very annoying. As Tacos is about to walk into one on his own, the clone is going to get the fear off, and Tacos is now pretty chunked. Huli is looking for an angle and does chunk out Insensate, but are they able to play this fight? As Shaco, Brucey gets ulted by both Shaco and bullet times into absolutely nothing. Dank Pingu on the other side, however, will go down. The top laner making all the difference there as Polaris is now looking for an angle. Tacos is trying to take this Drake as quickly as possible, and he does still have the Unraveled Earth. They will stun Polaris up as he tries to go into the clone. He's not able to get anything done. He flashes into Cruzy, but there's just nothing there. Cruzy is able to auto him once, and that Collector does its work. Taco's pushing red side up to Soul Point as Insensate is having a little bit of trouble with these neutral objectives. He did manage to get the Herald. He did manage to get the Grubs. But he's having a little bit of trouble with the Drake. MCC will go for a pull. We'll get trapped in response. I really think he likes those cupcakes. He's gonna get a stomachache if he keeps this up. He is not playing Janna though this time, so maybe they're a little bit healthier. You know, a little bit of a he can handle it. He's a little bit of a tankier boy. Huli on this top side, trying to push in a very large wave to get top turret. Will not manage it. MZC pulls the minion. Tacos is here to cover for his laners as he transitions to the top side of the map. And Tempo is just trying to survive. He does have Seeker's Arm Guard now, so he is able to go invulnerable when he's ultied by Zed, but the trade is going to be very difficult. As Seraphine ulti comes out, two cleaned up, MCC is looking to ulti, but Polaris is there to help out his team, and all three go down with absolutely no response. That Seraphine ulti was absolutely perfect. The bullet time, unfortunately, not so much. And that means that Baron is a free objective as Dusk Legends and Tempo continue to fight it out on the bottom side all by themselves. And Taco's not going to be very happy about that one. He was unfortunately not able to zone Polaris away from his bottom lane.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Polaris's lead really starting to show and help his team push further and further ahead, as they will now be up 2,000 gold, looking to push their lead even further and close out against Huli's team. Mortal Reminder now completed for the Caitlyn. That healing cut is not really going to affect too many people, and it's not going to have as much effect on the Ocean Soul, unfortunately. Given that the heal cut usually drops off before the Ocean Soul regen starts. But maybe Dang Pingu knows something that we don't. As Dusk Legends is looking for Tempo here. Tempo does have his full Zhonya's, meaning he has a lot more armor on his side than he did a few minutes ago. And it is going to make it very difficult for that Zed to press R on the Fizz. With multiple ways to go invulnerable, Tempo is no longer Dusk Legends' target. Although, he is putting himself in a bit of a targeted position as he will miss ulti because Dusk Legends ulti's over it. Unfortunately, Dusk Legends does not have his team to back him up, and he will go down. On the top side, Polaris and Seraphine looking to work together, and Insensate and Dang Pingu also walking up to make sure that this top turret goes down. But Huli's team has something to say about this. You're in a 4v1, my friends, as Seraphine gets pulled and never able to ulti. Dark Pingu going forward, but Huli still catches him up. There's no follow-up damage. Huli is out there by himself. He had such a great opportunity, but no team to back him up. As now Red Side is looking to set up for their Ocean Soul. Looking for one positive in this game. Still down by 2k gold. They will manage to secure this Ocean Soul. I don't think Insensate can get out here quickly enough, although they're not taking it very quickly. Insensate is in the area. He will not be given the opportunity, but Polaris is looking for an angle on the team fight. Taco's attempts to ulti, but will just get rooted up by the Caitlyn, as now the rest of his team is scrambling to get out. And now blue side looking for the push, looking to take the final outer turret of the map. All they have left is to crack the base. And they're looking to do so in multiple lanes. As Polaris shoving in this mid lane, Dusk Legends and Dang Pingu shoving in the bottom. But Huli has something to say about this. Polaris is standing still, attempting to imitate his clone as Cruci getting ulted by Polaris. The Caitlyn ult will finish it off, and MCC is now in trouble. Huli all by himself will ulti 3 people into the turret, but there's just no more damage left. Tempo not there, Taco not there, Cruci dead, Polaris taking this middle turret with Pingu. Tempo looking for the hero play to keep his team in this game, but the mid lane inhibitor will go down. And blue side is looking for the end. They've got another wave coming in right now. Tempo getting poked out, not able to walk back into the safety of his fountain. Belia very good at clearing these waves out, but Polaris is walking the bottom lane in, and it looks like the call will just be take the bottom turret and walk away. MCC misses the hook once again onto Dusk Legends. And a 3-for-1 will be the result in favor of Polaris' team. That middle inhibitor going down, the bot lane inhibitor being exposed. Baron is going to be very difficult to contest. Dusk Legends once again walking towards the bottom side, looking to put the final nail, as MCC will manage to pull Insensate and will ulti, but the Shaco box denies him any further follow, and Insensate will just take the blast cone over the wall and be completely out. And now the rest of blue side is here to set up for this incoming Baron. 30 seconds as Cruci gets ulted by Dusk Legends. Dusk Legends does manage to get enough damage and walks out. That Baron is not contestable anymore. Taco may look for the steal, but with Polaris pressuring his top side with Dang Pingu, it looks very difficult. Dang Pingu will get pulled, flashes out before the Blitzcrank ulti does manage to land, but a flash off of Caitlyn is very valuable, as Tempo, in a bit of an awkward position, does ulti behind him. Looks like it was just a mouse misposition though. Polaris looking to stay behind and contest. Dusk Legends doing the same as the rest of his team walks over to Baron, looking to put the final nail in Huli's team's coffin. Dusk Legends will be in a bit of a sticky situation as Seraphine comes out to protect him. Zed falls. He goes back to his ultimate shadow. But in response, both Tempo and MCC will go down. Polaris' team looking to make that final push, 4v3. Still having Cruci alive. Still having Taco alive. Huli needs to get his Narbar up as Tacos will go invulnerable. Polaris will go under the turret and ultimate. Polaris knocks at both. One turret goes down. Bullet time comes out. Pingu goes down. This defense holds. Cruci and Huli able to get it done with one turret remaining. And with Baron off of all 5 members, you know that Polaris' team is going to be smarting a little bit from that mistake.
Turret has been destroyed.
the question now becomes, how does Hooli's team get back in the game? They're now down about 2.5k, so they've managed to keep it pretty close, even with that Baron. All 5 members of Polaris' team going down make that a little bit difficult, as now Elder is imminent. Hooli's team being here first means they get to set up all the vision that they want. And Dusk Legends cannot walk into this bottom river. His team is not here, and the Drake spawns in 20 seconds. They're going to have to walk into a very dark corridor. MCC over the wall and flashes over, pulls the Seraphine. They have correctly identified the difficult part of this team fight is to go down. Tempo will be traded, but there's no jungler. Polaris is on the bottom side, and while he's looking for an angle, the bullet time is almost right back up. Polaris walking around the backside, does have a blast gun off of vision, goes in, gets an ultimate on 3. MCC looking ultimate, and the bullet time comes out over the top, but a flash, an ultimate from Dusk Legends, and Cruci fighting for his life does manage, does do just enough damage to the Elder and heal up. Not to die to that Caitlyn ulti, but only the ADCs are alive.
Inhibitor has been destroyed.
Cruci has to get back. Pingu is looking for the end. Cruci buys a full GA, and I don't think Pingu is in a very good spot right now. Tempo is looking to just run him all the way down. He ignores the cupcake. Perhaps learning from his supports. He will get ulted by Dark Pingu. Excuse me, by Seraphine. Dark Pingu is not able to put down a trap to keep him there. But they will turn to this Elder Drake. Polaris' team somehow managing to get a good angle. Tacos is here though, and he doesn't want to let this Drake go. There's no Seraphine ulti. But now there's no Drake to go for. As Cruci taking quite a bit of damage from that Shaco clone. And Hooli's team just has to back off. They're in a very difficult position. Their waves are pushed out. That will take Polaris' team a little bit of time. But can they defend against the full team of Elders? Polaris is going to make these team fights very difficult, and critically, Cruci does still have Guardian Angel. Without that, he cannot walk anywhere near a team fight until Polaris has pressed on. However, if Hooli's team manages to pick off the Seraphine and potentially the Caitlyn before the fight really breaks out, it becomes very difficult for the rest of this team to play. Polaris trading with Hooli on the bottom side as they've been doing all game. MCZ looking for an angle for Hook, does not find it as that wave pushes in. Thankfully, no Baron on the blue side as MCC decides we're just going to go for this Wukong. Does manage to pull him, does manage to silence him. He is ulting, but he's not long for this world. He will go down, even though his Sterak's lets him live for a little bit longer. But in return, that top lane inhibitor disappears off of the map. Polaris' team on the blue side, retreating to this Baron up in 5 seconds, will look for an objective to give them a little bit better pushing power into this team. Baron will be started up by the blue side, down to about half health, and with those Shaco boxes, it's so incredibly difficult to walk in. Tacos will get ulted by Dusk Legends. The Zhonya's is not going to save him. The Flash may not save Dusk Legends, as MCC is here, and he lands the hook. The charm coming out from the Seraphine, but there's no follow-up. MCC walks into a box, and now he's dead as well. One auto from Dark Pingu makes it impossible for this MF to go anywhere. Huli, the last member of his team alive, does attempt to get the ulti out with Gnar, but Polaris able to follow very easily. The rest of his team taking both of the inhibitor turrets, taking the inhibitor, and that will be the game. A very back and forth, very even for a lot longer than I expected, but in the end, Polaris' team managed this to close out. And with that, we are going to go to a short break while we prep for our next game. Do not go anywhere. The action will be right back.
Welcome back for the third in-house game. We've got some drama. We've got the server owner here for the games playing ADC. Starting off with the bans, we are going strong with Aphelios. Not a very typical champion, but still a very good ADC if you understand how to rotate your guns. Mordekaiser will be the response from red side. Blue side looking for a second ban. It will be Wukong, top laner in answer. A Nun ban being hovered by red side, changed to Malzahar and locked right in. Third ban coming in from the blue side. Looks like with a Wukong and a Aphelios ban, they're really looking for some kind of engage team. Jarvan going to be the final ban for this first round on the blue side. Jarvan also a really strong jungler right now. Sion going to be the answer potentially, and it is locked in. So let's see what this blue side priority pick is going to be. A lot of topside focus from the red side for this draft. A lot of jungle focus from the blue side for this draft. What is the priority pick coming out from blue side? Victor locked in a very good, strong mid lane mage. Thresh in response. Katarina going to be the mid lane answer. And that matchup is not super fun. Victor not really able to get his W down and stop Katarina, but it will stop her ulti. She does tend to stay in one spot for long enough when she's pressing R. Mad Life going to be the final pick with a Jhin from Yop. Hopefully not too many tanks coming out from the red side. And it will be Nautilus paired with that Jhin in the bottom lane. Xin Zhao to be the answer. And as we start off the second round of bans, top lane probably going to remain the focus for both teams. Gwen going to be the first hover from the red side, and it will be locked in. Interesting that it comes out on red side when it really would benefit them more. Another champion that Jhin cannot hit with his ultimate. Silver going to be banning out the Volibear for the blue side. Let's see what red side's final ban is going to be. Is it going to be another top? It will. Gnar taken off of the table as the final ban, potentially ADC, looks to come in from blue. Tyler not being banned out this time. He will ban the Ornn. So a lot of top lane focus here. Red side has the advantage and chooses not to use it. They will answer with the Ashe, so they're looking for counterpick on top side, even though they have been banning the most top laners. Silver looking for a jungler here. It will be the Skarner. Able to really lock down this Katarina and Xin Zhao on the blue side. Gangplank going to be the final pick for blue. And it will be an Aatrox hover in answer. Aatrox definitely able to make life a little bit difficult for Gangplank. Does have a lot of healing in his kit. And a lot of CC that Gangplank is not able to completely nullify. Aatrox will be locked in for the red side. A lot of dive and really the ability to kind of push forward in these team fights coming out of red. A lot of lockdown,
looking for control on the blue side. We'll see which side prevails when the action comes back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Both teams just now loading in. We'll see what kind of shenanigans we can get up to this game. So far, red side has been 3 or 4 man invading. Looks like this game, though, we will get a very typical early start as both teams are spreading out across the map. Nautilus and Jhin walking in against a solo Ashe or bush control. That could potentially go pretty poorly for Monkey Sins. Katarina looking for that early Raptors ward, while Victor not really in position to get any wards down. Mad Life and Yop still hiding in this bush. Let's see if they can get any potential action. An early Q coming out from the Aatrox. And an early barrel kill. Both barrel kills. Tyler not able to get any of those barrels, but he does get one, and all of a sudden this train is going very, very poorly for Aatrox. A bit rough in this top lane matchup to start off with. Is that could just be a kill. Ignite comes out and a flash response for Aatrox puts him in a very untenable position, just not able to farm at this point in the game. Level 2 being secured on the blue side for the bot lane, but the hook in response, and Yop is taking definitely the worst part of this trade against Monkey Sim. Farmville is up here to punish Goonmaster, and the Ignite from the Aatrox coming out does allow him to secure first blood. A good trade turns into a horrible situation thanks to the intervention of Farmville. Trading going back and forth between this Victor, and flashes for both, a trade for both as Katarina ignites and goes down to the turret. Yop and Monkey Sims dueling it out. Mad Life very chunked out. Heal used by the Thresh and both summoners for the Nautilus. Level 3 secured first on blue side. A lot of early action coming into this game as Mad Life sits in a bush, doesn't know that it's still warded. Katarina going for some very early aggressive trades immediately after coming back to lane, is down quite a bit of CS, and with that death, Victor is going to get a lot of early stacks. Farmville making his way down to the bottom side, flash barrier, but a flash in response for Farmville means another kill secured. Mad Life looking for the trade all by himself. The barrier coming out means he does not get it. And Xin Zhao making moves all over the map means that this is going to be a very difficult game to play. Some might even call this a jungle diff. As Katarina goes in for multiple aggressive trades, Headhunt not really respecting the Shunpo locations or potential locations. Back on the top side, Aatrox pushing in the wave, does have the early advantage from that kill. Silver looks to catch this mid wave. Yop allowing the bottom wave to push in for blue side, and hopefully looking to potentially set up a freeze. Knowing that his jungler is on the bottom side, this wave crashing in looks a little bit rough for red side. Victor getting some decent trades back onto Katarina, but Katarina is just going to go aggressive all the time. Mad Life not helping his ADC out, instead going for the hook and missing it completely. Monkey Sins in a bit of a rough spot as Skarner is here, and Monkey Sins is forced to flash. Flame Dude may just be dead. Doesn't have flash. Hooked by the Nautilus. Attempts to hook and look for a return kill on the Silver, but will not find it. And jungle pressure seems to be the name of the game for both sides, as Goonmaster is very, very much out of mana now. That last orange he had, I hope it was tasty, because he's not going to have another one until he goes back home. QEWR is going to look for the ultimate, does have level 6, does have the ignite, does not have the ability to close out the kill on Victor, and Victor is going to be very accelerated this game. A 1-2 lead for the Victor. Because once again, blue side is going to let the bot wave push. Hope that their jungler shows up for another gank once again, since that Drake is up. And the action will calm down just a little bit, as Flame Dude does manage to hook the Jhin underneath the turret, but not a whole lot of follow-up since his support is right there. Ashe will get the first plate on bottom side, thanks to those minions. Heavy trading on the top side. Goonmaster pops the ulti. Aatrox pops in response. The ignite going down means that he is just not going to have a good time, and he flashes away. The flash from Gangplank in response means that Aatrox will lose his life, as we see some very heavy trading onto Ashe on the bot side. Barrier coming out from both ADCs, and neither of them will live. Farmville gets a return kill on top side, and the action does not stop, as Silver is here looking for the ulti onto Katarina, but Katarina Shunpo's right behind him. A very good play coming out in the mid lane. Mad Life will get hooked up. Flame Dude decides not to take that hook in. Katarina will Shunpo, ulti again, forcing the flash. Flame Dude is in a very weird position here, is forced to flash, but his ADC is there to back him up, and Ashe is putting in damage on that Jhin. Curtain Call opening up. Monkey Sins not able to walk away. And Silver will secure the kill. Katarina getting the best of Victor. As a very large wave being missed by this Ashe. And they're going to rotate over to the Drake after having seen Farmville on the top side. He is just going to walk over to those grubs, take the consolation prize. As Goonmaster, feeling very comfortable with the position of this wave, he's just going to throw down a barrel, look for a little bit of poke, but not going to find it, and just allow this wave to walk itself in to his turret. Back in the mid lane, it's looking quite a bit easier for the Katarina as Mad Life is in an awkward position, but Silver may be here to cover. The ulti coming out from Skarner means that Monkey Sins is just not going anywhere. Mad Life lands the hook. Katarina walking down. Can she get there in time? Ulti coming out, but Skarner just pushes her against the wall. The ignite onto Mad Life does not net the kill. Farmville, though, may not know that there are 4 people around him. He will flash. As the Victor ulti comes out, he's looking for the play on the Yop. Yop will flash and barrier and 4th shot him for his mistakes. Goonmaster being traded on, ulti ignite, coming out from the Aatrox, but unfortunately not a whole lot going on. Silver is going to attempt to steal away the blue and does so successfully, but can he get out with his life? He's being protected by his Victor, but there are multiple people on the way. Katarina wants this fight. The curtain call comes out, and do they just back off? They don't seem to be doing so. Katarina very, very chunked at this point. Victor still looking for a good angle. And Silver just pushes Thresh into a wall. Monkey Sins rooted up. Almost 4-shotted, but Farmville is here to get the response kill. Katarina going back in, dies to Victor. And they're just going to walk away. They decide that 2 for 1 is a fine enough trade. Goonmaster getting more poke onto Aatrox, even being a level down. With that Sheen, it just feels so unfair to play against Gangplank. He will secure that kill, and Aatrox has nowhere to go. Both mid lane and top lane able to push in these waves. Monkey Sins very low, and Mad Life is going to look for a play. Thresh getting the hook, but Nautilus getting the hook in response. The box comes out, and Monkey Sins cannot take another auto. Does land the Crystal Arrow, but Farmville is here to respond to the play. Flashes coming out for the support on blue side and the Ashe on red side. Farmville attempts to get the kill and does so. Gets locked up under the turret, but he's still looking pretty healthy. Both mid laners now completing first items. Jhin completing his as well as Nautilus. And despite what I said about Victor having a very hard time with his W, Katarina seems to be not able to get her resets off as much as she would like. Is getting a little stunned up. Silver looking for another play. Does get the wall and the ultimate. Both ultis coming out. Can they finish this kill? Victor needs one more laser, and he will get it with a flash. Well played from the side of blue. 2 ultis and a flash for a trade flash and a kill, I think they're going to call that pretty worth. On the top side, we have Goonmaster and Lowlife trading back and forth. Goonmaster will ulti here, but Aatrox ignites in response. Both looking pretty low as Aatrox has to run away from those barrels. He is going to get some help from his jungler here in about a second, and I don't think Goonmaster knows. He might get away. He's hiding in the bush, and he manages to get out. He does not cancel. He walks away. One summoner up. Both junglers performing very well in this matchup. 3-0-6 on the Skarner. 6-1-2 on the Zinzao. As Katarina goes in for more aggressive trades, but Victor just queues and walks away. And knowing that Farmville is on the top side, Blue will secure their second Drake of the game. Goonmaster looking to hunt down this Zinzao. The W coming out from Victor means that he has nowhere to go. And that will be Victor's 5th kill, giving him about 2 upgrades. At this point in the game, Katarina is going to have somewhat of a difficult time. Silver looking for a play on the top side. No wards for the Aatrox. He will pop ulti, but he will still get shoved against the wall. The ulti comes out from Skarner, but Goonmaster is taking a lot of damage. He does dish out some in response, and the Conqueror proc means that Lowlife is going to feel okay about that trade. Goonmaster does have to recall. Katarina looking for a little bit of revenge. Will not find it. As Victor walks over to give her a little bit of a hard time. The poke coming out from the Victor is insane. He will manage to stun up. I don't think he knows that his ultimate silences, but it may not matter because he just doesn't have it. And now Silver finds himself in a 2v1 position as well. He will stun up the Katarina against the turret, but unfortunately Katarina has enough movement speed that she, or not movement speed, but is able to blink out of that turret range. Farmville now rotating towards bottom, and Yop will take the arrow, is looking to just get away, and the hook from Madlife means that his ADC is able to successfully escape. But Farmville will still claim the Nautilus. And now with Drake coming up in about 2.5 minutes, they have full control of this bottom side, but Goonmaster getting full control of the top side. Aatrox forced to ulti in response to the Gangplank ulti means he's gonna have a hard time walking away. The flash Q coming out and the ignite. Cool guys, don't look at explosions as he walks away. The barrier coming out from the Jhin means he gets the trade kill. Ashe has to flash. A huge misplay coming out from the red side means that they do not get the kill, and instead Jhin gets one in return. The ulti and the silence onto Katarina. The laser to finish it off, and Monkey Sins exhausted, out of a barrier, unable to walk away. As now Madlife finds himself in a similar position minus the exhaust. He does, unfortunately for Farmville, have his ADC to back him up. He's slowed up. Does Madlife get away? He lands the hook on the wall, but Farmville just follows him. And now Yop is in a very tough spot. Does get hooked by the Thresh and will finally go down, not making the same mistake twice. Farmville is here. He's going to go on to Grandmaster. The flash over from Thresh, and there is no walking away from that. A shutdown going over to the Xin Zhao. Will he get to take this red? They're definitely fighting over it, and there are a lot of people here. The Ash Arrow coming in does stun up the Victor and makes it very hard, but Xin Zhao still goes down. Too many people closer for the blue side. Means that that buff steal incredibly unsuccessful. Lowlife is going to answer on the top side with a tier 1 turret, and he will feel much better about that, given that despite the number of ganks that Farmville has given him, he has not managed to continue a lead in this top side. And that third Drake going over to the blue side, that Thresh hook, not a lot of follow-up on it, but he is landing them pretty easily and doing a very good job. Farmville managing to secure his own red buff on the top side of the map. The game has started to cool down just a little bit. 2k lead for the blue side does make this an interesting game. Lowlife taking a lot of damage from those barrels, will be ignited, has to flash and ulti just to survive. Herald, unfortunately, has expired, and Headhunt is in a bit of a spot here. He has two people looking for the play. Farmville getting stunned underneath the turret. He will look for the ulti, but Victor has the shield and will make it a 2-for-1 trade. Shutting down the Katarina. And it looks like they really have a problem diving this bottom turret. Maybe once they kill it, it won't be such an issue. On the top side, 3 plates going over to the jungle and top laner of blue side. The Herald will go down to help them finish off this turret and get some damage on the second one, or the third one, excuse me. Silver is going to choose to drive that one in. He may decide to take a right turn once he sees the Katarina. He will drive it into a wall, and Ashe is going to finish that off, meaning no extra crash. Barrel coming out from Grandmaster, loses Katarina half her health. Is she going to walk into this bush? She does have a ward. Doesn't lose the other half of her health, luckily. A flash from Gunmaster and the ulti coming out. Is he able to finish off this kill? Looks like the answer is going to be no. The Crystal Arrow coming out, but going a little wide means that Gunmaster will be able to walk away on that gangplank. Unless some extra harass comes out from the Katarina. And now Farmville is going to make an attempt on Tyler's life, and he will lose it. A lot of traps going off in the mid lane. Nautilus deciding if he wants to take a hook, decides that is not the answer, but Lowlife getting a little stuck here. Does get stunned up by both the Impale and the Victor ulti. And bot lane turret should go over to the side of blue. in the mid lane, not really able to crack that turret from either side. But a lot of attention is now headed that way. Silver does not have ulti, so this may be a little bit difficult, but with the bottom turret going down, they're going to feel pretty good about their position in this game. A 5k gold lead now for the blue side on Soul Point for Hextech Soul. And that's going to feel really good for this team. Silver in a really good position, and I don't think Thresh knows that he's there. The TP also coming out means that this is a very dead support, but Farmville is there and wants to prevent this from happening. A 4-man fight breaking out as Katarina looking to do as much damage as possible. Yop getting stunned up by the Crystal Arrow means that he has to flash and barrier away, and Lowlife manages to get a kill onto Madlife. Both teams are going to walk away. Down 1 kill for the blue side, but potentially up 1 inhibitor turret. As the ulti will come out from Aatrox, but I don't think he wins this at this point. Gangplank is on 3 items, and he does a lot of damage, especially with the Ignite. They're going to trade their top lane turret and potentially inhibitor and top laner for a Drake. I don't think that that is a good trade. And a mid lane turret. Blue team able to answer a lot of the pressure coming out. Victor stun forces Farmville's ulti, but with 4 people there, it is not enough to get him out. The lantern is enough for Monkey Sins, and Ashe will escape the same fate. However, Thresh may not be so lucky. The box coming out is stunned up and killed by Jin W. Deadly Flourish living up to its name, as now Headhun does get the stun up. If his team was there to support him, he might actually get the kill. Ashe will go down in response, but Lowlife is Aatrox and does manage to get Madlife once again. Looking for Yop, but unfortunately he just gets stunned up. Goonmaster on the bottom side will trade the turret for his life. And just a lot of trades coming out, and so far the blue side seems to be getting the better of it. Farmville will trade his flash for a shutdown on the Jhin, and finally some gold. A positive trade coming back for the red side. However, they have lost 1 inhibitor turret, and it's going to make things very difficult for them when it comes time for this next soul. They still have to play through 3 more soul points. Right now, Victor is looking quite a bit stronger than this Katarina. 3 full items and 4 stacks on the Dark Seal, as opposed to almost 3 items. Katarina looking for the Shunpo, gets stunned up. Does force out the Victor ulti, but takes a pretty decent chunk of her health in return. Is now red side and blue side are both posturing around the Baron, both teams attempting to clear out the other's vision. Headhund sitting on that bottom side as Goonmaster gets stunned up by the Crystal Arrow, but he just eats an orange and he's fine. We'll see how much more fine he can be after this Aatrox. Aatrox and Thresh are alone, and the rest of the team is just here. That play almost looked good until the rest of the team showed up. Yop now in a little bit of trouble, but Silver's just going to stun Farmville up against the wall. pop ulti and attempt to walk away. We'll jump to the Baron in an attempt to escape, but he may just actually give up this Baron. They know exactly where he is. I don't think he has a way out. He's going to get not stunned up, not deadly flourished, not Victor stunned. He's breaking some ankles here, but it's just not enough. On the top side, Goonmaster trades with Katarina, and the Baron will go over to blue side. They're going to take this 10,000 gold lead and look to push it into an end angle. And while red side is trying to walk out to this Baron, they don't have a jungler, they don't have any vision, they don't have a way to get into this Baron, and they will lose it. Blue side looking for that reset and looking to push this game to its natural conclusion. I mean, with a 10k gold lead, how do you even begin to play this game out? A good start would be your inhibitor turret coming back up, or your Nexus turret coming back up, excuse me. But this soul is going to make things very difficult. As now blue side is posturing, looking for their final soul. The final normal Drake of this game. Red side looking for any possible angle into this fight, just not finding it. Aatrox on the top side does have TP, but how do they even approach this? Farmville looking for the angle. Flame Dude also looking for the angle. Aatrox TP coming in, but they're already so chunked. Nautilus landing a good hook, and Farmville goes in on Headhunt, who pops his ulti, and one dead on the side of blue. Goonmaster trading his GA to get some. Curtain Call comes out. Monkey Sins is in the middle of three people, getting sniped in the back. Falls to his death, and instead of ending, we choose to take. Looks like we are ending. Flame Dude is the only one left alive, and a Thresh is going to have a very, very difficult time clearing Baron minions, unfortunately. Mid inhibitor turret goes down. Mid inhibitor quickly follows. And those Nexus turrets are not long for this world. 1 second on low life heals, 7 seconds on mid and jungle, but how much can they do? The answer, not much. Game over. The Nexus explodes, and Tyler's team takes the win. A very bloody, fast-paced game, but that 10k gold lead just made it unplayable. And now we're going to go to a short break. Stick around. The action will be right back. All right, welcome back for the fifth and final game of In-Houses. It may not be the final game that they are playing, but it is the final game of the cast. So let's get into picks and bans, starting off strong with a Xin Zhao ban, which has been pretty prevalent in tonight's games. Volibear is going to be the one to follow. Lowlife, up next, is on the same team as Goonmaster this time, so hopefully no hard feelings for how that Aatrox top lane matchup went. We'll see what he decides to ban. Looks like it is going to be the Katarina. Could be a little bit of a difficult matchup in the mid lane, but I believe in people's ability to play into that very obnoxious champion. On the red side, we have a Shaco Hover. Let's see if that is actually locked in. It is indeed, and it is going to be Goonmaster to close out the bans for blue side. Let's see what he does not want to play against. Looks like Malphite is going to be the answer this time. On the red side, the final closeout ban for the first round is Malzahar, and now we get to see what the priority will be on blue side. A lot of dive being banned out by the blue side, while a lot of lockdown being banned on the red side this game. Ornn going to be the answer, and Kayle the immediate response. Very interesting. Kayle looking to scale, Ornn looking to help his team scale, Wukong there to mix everything up in the fight. A Wukong jungle paired with a Kayle could be a very disruptive combo. Let's see if Ornn is able to cause more disruption for the red side than they can cause themselves. Goonmaster going to pick up Lilia as the jungle response. We do know that he likes to play a lot of female champions, so Lilia, not really a surprise. Not a surprising pick there. Headhun looking for a potential mid lane pick here. We'll see what he wants to play. And Silver is going to trade for the Xayah pickup. The last of the first three picks for blue side. Let's see what the ADC response is. It's going to be Jinx. So hyper carry in the bottom lane, a scaling top laner. We'll see how that works out for red side as we return to our ban phase. Starting off with the red side, we get a Victor ban, and that makes a lot of sense given how the last game that we casted went. Headhunt is going to have a ban in response. Looks like he's going to take his time, and we'll see what it's going to be. This man gets to ban 2 champions. I'm a little bit jealous. I cannot lie. Quinn is going to be the selection here. And the final ban from red side coming out, it is going to be Veigar. An interesting ban for sure. Not really a very strong laner right now. A lot of people would agree that he is very easily abusable, even if still a good scaling champion. On the blue side for the final ban, Lulu is the first hover. We'll see if that gets locked in. And it will indeed close out our ban phase. Starting off back on the red side, we'll see what they want to pair in the support role with this Jinx. I very much doubt they're going to pick their mid laner here. Should be a counter pick for that mid lane on R5. And indeed, it will be. Thresh comes out to be paired with the Jinx. A very, very solid pairing. Time to round out the blue side team here. Mid lane looking to pick next, and then likely support. We'll see what the Thresh answer is going to be. If it's going to be an enchanter or a response engage tank. 2 seconds to pick, and Morgana. The response, a potential flex between mid and support. We'll see with this final blue side pick what role that champion is going to play. Looks like it will be mid lane with Braum coming out in the support role. Not a ton of damage coming out in terms of AD from the blue side, but with Morgana there to protect and Lilia there to sleep, Ornn to cause a lot of interesting train-related shenanigans in the top lane. Mel is going to be the response, a very strong artillery mage, still a lot more abusable now than she was on release, but still very strong if she gets ahead. On the blue side, we see a very solid front-to-back team comp looking to make plays and use the Morgana to keep the ADC and jungle safe. On the red side, we see a similar comp, sort of front-to-back with a standard artillery mage and a scaling top laner. Jinx absolutely can carry this game. Kayle can absolutely carry this game. Mel also has that potential. So we'll see who gets the upper hand in the beginning of this game when we come back in just a few minutes. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift for the final time on this broadcast tonight. Both teams leaving their base in an orderly fashion. No more shenanigans tonight, as it will be a little bit of early warding coming out from the blue side. A little bit of poke coming out from the red side, as Grandmaster will get the ward down, but takes a lot of chunk and does have to flash. The exhaust coming out from the Kayle, as well as the flash, gives them first blood. And I don't know about you, but I don't think a ward is worth your flash and your life, especially when it's first blood on a Mel. We all know how annoying that champion can be. And even then, Thresh manages to get a ward down on blue side Raptors. Is going to make things a little bit difficult for his ADC, but Jinx still managing to pick up all 6 minions. Kayle having a very difficult time on this top side matchup. And Jinx will get the level 2 a little bit earlier than blue side. However, Thresh will not be level 2, and it will be a little bit awkward as Lowlife looking to get a little bit of revenge, play very aggressively for that last Aatrox game. We'll see if Wukong decides to punish that, although he should be walking to his bottom side. Lilia, however, looking for a little bit of an invade, since they see Wukong on that ward that he died to put down. We're getting a little bit of value back for that death. As trading goes on here in the bottom side, Jinx and Thresh poking out the Xayah. And Grandmaster in a little bit of trouble once again. He is getting collapsed on by the Thresh, as we see Kayle barely getting away with her life. She does not have flash. And this is a very difficult position for her to play in. Headhunt, however, manages to stun or root the incoming Farm Master. A little bit of trading on the bottom side as Jinx is completely out of mana. Going to make it very, very difficult for this bot lane to play, but Braum is a little bit low. Kayle, however, is even lower as fighting goes on and Yop is stunned up. First blood in the bot lane going over to the support as Flame Dude will make it a trade, but Goonmaster losing his life as well. Fighting happening on both sides of the map as Headhunt looks to make a trade. No way out for this Wukong, but Mel being there makes it a little bit difficult, and Headhunt has to flash as he does get the return kill on the enemy jungler. Slight lead in farm for the Wukong over the Lilia, who is now 0-2 and not really able to get much happening in this game. Morgana, however, and Xayah are both 1-0 and in pretty good positions to carry as a response. Grandmaster just going to take this bottom crab, knowing that his opponent has already taken the top one. And Silver will allow this wave to push in on the bottom side. Yop looking to trade aggressively, but it is currently a BF sword to a long sword and a Cole, and I am going to say that trade does not work out as well as one might hope. Kayle finally getting a recall off, does get a blasting wand. Low Life going to have a lot more pushing power with that Bombing Cinder completed. However, Kayle will get level 6 first, and now this lane becomes a little bit more difficult for the Ornn to play. Without that early kill, Kayle is going to be able to farm at range and be a lot more of a menace than she is V6. Still a little bit on the low side though, but Low Life is half mana. And we'll see if Lilia can make a roam up to the top side. As Headhunt battles it out, we will get ultis from both top laners. Goonmaster shows up, does miss the W, but Lilia is a very fast champion, and Kayle has nowhere to run, will lose her life. On the bottom side, red side has decided to trade for the Drake. A very fair trade in my opinion. Kayle not having flash though, even though she's able to farm at range, is going to make a potential return gank look very juicy, especially if Kayle wants to push. Yop on the bottom side of the map, once again, completely out of mana. Braum looking for that aggressive play, will stun up. Flame Dude on the Thresh. Silver flashing forward to follow, will throw out the ulti, and Yop is also going to get stunned up. Silver no longer has lethal tempo stacked, doesn't have a flash, only forces out the cleanse from Jinx. A 1-for-0 trade in the bot lane, and Jinx is not getting accelerated the way that she wants to. However, in the mid lane, it's looking a little rough as both ultis comes out and Mel's turns out to be the stronger. Tyler is going to flash. He will manage to get an ability and manages to sleep the Mel, trading that kill back and finally evening up his KDA. Once again, looking for a topside play. Kayle looking to avoid that bowling ball. Does manage to step out of literally everything. And with Wukong on the way up, this looks a little difficult to play. Wukong popping that ulti will manage to get both kills to his Kayle. And this top lane matchup starting to look a little bit difficult. Kayle is starting to scale. Wukong going straight to those grubs as Mel reflects. Morgana binding right back onto herself. Braum looking to prevent Thresh from walking back into the lane. The Lantern does give Braum a little bit of pause, especially not knowing where Wukong is at the moment. But seeing as nobody has taken that Lantern, they both walk away back to their lane. Jinx finally getting her own BF sword means that she will really start to do some damage. But a 2-0 Xayah is definitely nothing to scoff at. Drake coming up in 2 minutes means that these teams should start looking to place a little bit of vision down, get some idea of where the enemy jungler is going to be. And we'll see if these ADCs can hit their item breakpoints before that next Drake fight. Kayle looking to zone off, takes a lot of damage, but is giving some poke in return. That wave is pushing towards Ornn though, so he's very satisfied to just tank it up a little bit, build an item for himself, get a little more magic resist, and wait for it to come to him. Both top laners about half health now. Both junglers starting to play towards the bottom side as we close in on the minute mark for that Drake. Headhunt a little bit behind this Mel. Mel having first item so much earlier because of those 2 kills. And the 30 CS lead as we get a fight breaking out in bot lane. The box comes out, but Farmville ulting and flashing onto Silver. The Jinx Rocket will complete the kill, but now Farmville is in a little bit of trouble as Morgana shows up to ulti, gets stunned up, gets re-stunned, but Jinx manages to get the trade. Mel is now down here, and Braum has to run for his life. A 2-for-2 trade in the top side, as now Kayle is the one running for her life. Lowlife looking to chase her down as Tyler comes up to help. The ulti comes out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Lowlife getting a little bit of revenge and looking to head right back home. Both teams are going to have their eyes set on that next Drake, which is coming up right about now. Both ADCs have hit their item breakpoints. Morgana, however, has not hit an item breakpoint yet, and that means that their mid lane is going to be a lot stronger. Silver needs to run. There is nowhere to go. It's rooted up by the Flame Chompers. Flash from the Jinx gives the excited reset, and maybe they look to dive. They say no. Not against the Braum. Not a good idea. A very good kill to get before this Drake can be taken. As now, in the mid lane, there's a bit of a pinch on this Lilia. Not much will come of it though, and Farmville will just focus the dragon. Morgana having a very difficult time in this mid lane now, as Mel does quite a bit of damage with that next item, or that first item. Yop is going to rotate over to help take this Drake, and they will secure it, giving them 2 Drakes, and Hex Tech Soul will be the soul for this game, as Morgana is once again rooted up. has the opportunity to press E on herself, but just does not do so in time, will be punished for that mistake. And a little frustration, I'm sure, coming out from the side of Headhunt into this Mel. Farmville looking for the opportunity. The flash forward from Thresh, but the Braum ulti making it a very difficult play. Not a whole lot more going on here, but Grandmaster has once again returned to top lane, and once again, this Kayle has nowhere to go, flashes over the wall, dies to the Liandry's burn, and having a bit harder time in the scaling game now that she once again does not have flash. Farmville looking to return to this mid lane, reflect on Mel, keeps her in place. However, Ornn is here, Farmville ultis, and everybody walks away. Mel manages to avoid the bowling ball from Lilia, but it was a very, very close fight. TP coming from Mel means that she barely misses anything. With that Hextech alternator, she's going to be very strong, likely looking for a Shadow Flame second item. Jinx on her second BF sword, while Xayah looking for that Zeal. As Kayle takes a very unnecessary turret shot, it is going to be in a bit of a rough position. The exhaust coming up soon and the ulti already up means that he will be a little bit safer in lane against the Ornn, but with Hollow Radiance completed for the Ornn, she is not going to be doing a whole lot of damage to him anytime soon. Ornn likely looking to build nothing but magic resist this game. Jinx is not doing too badly, but a lot of magic damage coming out from both Kayle and Mel. Farmville looking to return the favor, does manage to kill the Ornn. Does not need to utilize ult to do so, as he did not have it. And now we're looking at a 3k gold lead for the red side. After most of those plays by Farmville, ganks happening on both sides of the map, his team definitely looking in a better position than the red side, or than the blue sides. Excuse me. Wukong, after getting that kill top lane, will rotate over the Herald, will manage to pick it up this time. As Grandmaster looks to steal away camps, but the Jinx Rocket and the Mel ulti make that a very difficult proposition. Headhunt flashes forward and Tyler kill secured on the Lilia. The shutdown on the Mel as now Braum gets himself hooked and boxed in, but jumps away and puts up the vault door. He says, "Not today." A lot of these turrets looking pretty juicy. Kayle managing to get the first one into the Ornn off the back of that gank will put her in a little bit of a better position than she was after those 3 ganks from blue side. But in the end, Ornn mostly cares about levels, as Kayle will once again die to a gank and kill secured once again by the Grandmaster. Lilia now sitting on 2 completed items. The Liandry's going to burn most of their team. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of magic resist that any of the champions on red side want to build, making Lilia look very, very good this game. Farmville starting up the first Hextech Drake will dash over the wall to keep that blast cone from being used as a way in. The Drake will go down, but now on the bottom side, Flame Dude is getting rooted up. Stunned by the Braum and just locked down completely. Potentially looking for a ward or for extra vision, but just not able to get out with his life as Yop forced to flash away from the bowling ball. Means that Jinx will be a little more vulnerable for the next 5 minutes. Ornn is now level 13, and Mel is also level 13, and she will utilize that level to full rotation a Morgana. Yop, no flash, can't get away from 3 people, simply dies, wasting a cleanse. On the top side, the Ornn manages to solo kill the Kayle once again. Farmville looking for a trade kill, cannot find it. Silver flash ulties and pulls all of those feathers. Make it very difficult. And now, Mel is in a bit of a tricky position as that bowling ball lands. She has no flash. She has no ulti. She has no life. And yes, Reflect is a very obnoxious spell. It can be very good, but you only get it once every 25 to 20 seconds. So if you don't have it, 3 people are very hard to avoid. Ornn, finally level 14, has his own upgrade. Needs to find his ADC to give that first upgrade over, making this Xayah very strong. May potentially want to wait until Infinity Edge comes through. As he will be walking bottom side for the Drake. Or more likely to kill this Kayle once again. Kayle will ulti but be stunned up, locked up, rooted, and finally taken down. I don't think that flash had quite the effect that she was looking for. And now we have Lowlife looking in the mid lane. Gunmaster by his side, but wisely the red side bot lane will simply back up and no angle to be had. Silver doing an incredible job of farming, very close to that Infinity Edge now, only about 1200 gold or so, as Lowlife will find the angle, manages to knock up Flame Dude, who flashes away, but Yop taking the lantern, barely getting away with his life as he has no flash or cleanse. And Farmville's here just to make sure that nothing else can possibly happen to his bot lane. Braum will attempt to defend his own ward. There's a little bit of ARAM going on. All 5 members of blue side here looking for a potential fight. They know about this position from the Lilia, who has ulti. The binding landing onto Yop means that he might just be dead. He is indeed, as the Morgana comes through. The Mel ulti will also come through, but unfortunately there's just not enough stacks as Lowlife is getting very low. The Wukong coming in with the Cyclone, looking to run down Silver. Does he have ultimate? He does not. And he will just die as Headhunt does manage to get a double kill in the mid lane. Farmville cannot fight a Braum and a Lilia at the same time without ulti. Kayle, not part of that fight, just looking to scale as much as possible. Level 14 now is getting a lot closer to that breakpoint,
Red team's turret.
but not quite there yet. As Braum will show up and just kind of walk her down. She is stunned and rooted once again, and once again loses her life. 2.5 items on this Kayle. 2, 7, and 2 is the KDA, and unfortunately that Kayle is going to be another 5 minutes or so before she is finally ready. Soul point for the red side. Looking for that soul. Most of their team is here. Ornn coming to join the fight. And this is looking a little bit difficult given how the last team fight went for the red side. I don't think they want to contest this Drake, but maybe they look for the fight afterwards. Lilia decides to go over and farm the bottom side as her team starts up the Drake and starts fighting. Febreze chunked out really low, does put out the Ornn ulti, is hooked up but still has the Morgana shield. Runemaster not looking too good, does sleep, but it's only one person. The Ornn ulti only hits the clone, doesn't hit anyone else. Does take the Drake on the Lilia, but can they win the fight afterwards? It looks like they can. Kayle, the first one to go down. Farmville very chunked, but the response kill on the Morgana by the Mel. And a 1-for-1 trade of top laner for mid, plus the Drake, the blue side. This game a lot closer than the previous one, only about 1,000 gold lead. But blue side does manage to prevent the soul. And they have a long hill to climb before they get their own opportunity to take a soul. But given how the last team fight went, I'd say right now they're looking pretty good. It doesn't mean that Kayle can't get very scary, but it does mean that right now she looks not nearly as scary as she should. Blue side does have the grubs, however, so if they do win a fight, they can do a lot of damage to these turrets, as Low Life getting hooked up by the Thresh, who says that tickles, and starts to fight Farmville, blowing the ulti just to be able to run away. Doesn't have the clone and no ultis coming out from blue side in response. They are a little chunked though, so they are going to look to go back, but Mel flashes forward and does shut down the Lilia. I think she's going to regret that flash here in just a moment, as Ornn misses the ulti. Mel ulti having no effect. Kayle protecting her mid laner, flashing forward onto Low Life, who's doing his best to protect his ADC. With Farmville coming up behind Xayah though, unfortunately, that is doomed to failure. Jinx, not even a part of that fight, just pushing in the mid lane, as now red side will rotate over to Baron, flipping the gold lead to 3k in their favor. And with this Baron, it may be quite a bit more. Mel pushing the mid turret after having TP'd, letting her team take the Baron and not really getting a whole lot out of that TP. She will be chased down by Lilia, but given that she can just reflect the bowling ball, I don't think there's a whole lot of threat here, as now the fight is turning a little bit, and I think that Zhonya's was a little bit troll. There's no way out of that. Sorry, Tyler. Kayle finally hitting level 16, does manage to avoid the Braum Q. And now things are sort of turning in the other direction for the blue side. Ornn only has 2 upgrades on 2 of his teammates, and he's chosen not to give one to Morgana, likely because Morgana is looking for the Death Cap upgrade, probably one of the best for any mid laner. But unfortunately, with that farm and being almost Flame Horizoned in the mid lane, that Death Cap is a long, long way off. It will go to the Blackfire Torch, which is an acceptable alternative for Morgana, but definitely not the one he likely would have wanted. Kayle is going to attempt to take the Gromp in front of Goonmaster, but Goonmaster gets his Q off on it and lets Leandres finish the job. Not able to do the same thing for his blue buff, unfortunately. Too many people there contesting it, and the decision to back off, I think, is the correct one. A 6k gold lead now for the blue side, looking to push in with the end of their Baron buff. Potentially crack the base. As they are starting to gather around this Drake, and Farmville finds the angle onto Grandmaster and goes in. Morgana is just gone. The ulti doesn't even complete. This Drake is completely free as Kayle is fighting Ornn in the top side, and normally I would say that doesn't go very well for Ornn, but this does not look like it's going well for Kayle, and indeed she will just die solo to an Ornn with 2 items. Not quite sure how that happens, but I guess we're seeing it. Red side does manage to take the Dragon Soul. Jinx looking for life. Silver ulties and dies. Only getting a cleanse in return. And now red side, with 3 members of the opposing team dead, is looking for the end of this game. They have the Hextech Soul. They have a Jinx that is excited. And they decide that it's too risky. There are too many people coming up too quickly, and it's time to reset and spend their gold. Almost a 10k gold lead now in favor of the red side. This game has really broken wide open. Ornn gets his last upgrade off, giving it over to his support. And blue side really have to think about how they want to play this game out. Their base has been cracked. Jinx is sitting on 4 full items as opposed to 3.5 for their Xayah. Kayle is level 17. Wukong is just a massive threat. How do they win this game? They do have reasonably good wave clear, but with threats like Mel and Jinx, it's going to be very difficult. Goonmaster gets tagged by the Thresh, but not a whole lot of follow-up, and so he is able to walk out. Both supports meet each other. There's a little more backup on the blue side, and Lowlife gets the knockup. Flame Dude is very tanky at this point, though, and Kayle is walking over. Grandmaster may be in a very difficult position here as he does get exhausted. Tries to Zhonya's, but 5 people in the same spot with no backup from his team. Very difficult to play. Farmville going in. Gets blinded up by Morgana Q. And red team once again entering the base as Morgana presses R, forces the flash out of Mel, who's very low. The Ornn ulti comes out. Silver forced to ultimate, stunned up, and just dead. Headhunt the last member alive, and he will not survive for long as red side a full ace. The base is theirs. Both Nexus turrets going down. An excited Jinx autoing the Nexus means it does not last, and that will be it. A very well fought game from both sides. Very close right up until that last Baron. And then blue side just fell apart. And with that, thank you so much for watching the in-houses for the loading screen. I have been Matrix Senpai. See you next time.